I'm Niharika and welcome back to a new lesson. Today we are going to look at the usage of example and that is. So many times, many of us do mix up example and that is when writing in English. You might have come across these abbreviated versions when you're reading a novel or probably a magazine or even a newspaper. But do you know how exactly it has to be used when writing in English? Now, e.g. and i.e., which stands for example and that is used in English for hundreds of years now. So, rather than just being a little confused, it's better to know how exactly it's used. So, that's what we are going to learn today. Let's first understand that what is e.g. Now, e.g. is the abbreviated term for a Latin phrase exempli gratia, which means example. Whereas IE stands for IDS, which is also an abbreviated term of a Latin phrase that is idist, which actually means that is, or in other words. Now let's understand the usage of these abbreviated terms. Now, e.g. is used to list examples. Always remember, if in a sentence you write e.g., which stands for example, it's used to list examples. Whereas that is used only when you have to explain or define something that you have already written. Now, if you have written something and you just want to explain it in other words, then you end up using that is. Okay? So if you have to explain or follow with a definition, with a metaphor, or with a clarification, you end up using IE after your sentence. Now let's understand this better with some sentences here. Now if you see the first one, I love my chicken salad with condiments, that is ranch dressing. Do you think this sentence is correct? Well, it's not. I'll tell you why. Now here if you see, I have used that is. But as I explained before, that is used only to clarify or in other words. Now if you see, I love my chicken salad with condiments, that is ranch dressing, will be incorrect because here it just gives us an idea that ranch dressing is the only dressing which is available. But that's not right. We have lots of other dressings, isn't it? We have Italian dressing, we have Caesar, we have Thousand Island. So we will not use that is. The right thing to use would be. So your sentence will go as, I love my chicken salad with condiments, example, ranch dressing. So here you're listing an example. You're showing that ranch dressing is one of my favorite and therefore I'm using e.g. That's example. Let's have a look at another sentence here. Eating a chicken salad without any ranch dressing is like playing leapfrog with a unicorn. That is a very bad idea. So here, if you see, I am saying that eating a chicken salad without any ranch dressing is like playing leapfrog with a unicorn. Now this is an idiom which actually means that it's a very bad idea. So I have already said my sentence. My sentence is followed by that is, and then I'm giving a clarification of what it means. So a very bad idea. That's the meaning of the phrase leapfrog with a unicorn. So here I'm explaining my sentence again. That's exactly the reason why I'm using that is. So let me just put this for you. Now, if you end up mixing example and that is, your sentences would not be grammatically incorrect, but the meaning of your sentence would change. So always remember that eg is used to list your examples, whereas that is used after a sentence to define something in other words. Okay? Let's have a look at some more examples so that you understand this in a better way. So here I have another example for you. He was a school champion of many activities. Example, chess, high jump, and basketball. So in this sentence here, if you see, I am providing with some examples that he was a school champion, but in what kind of activities he was a champion? Here are some examples. So I have listed chess, high jump, and basketball. And that's exactly the reason why I have used the abbreviated term of example, that is EG. If you look at the next sentence here, he was a school medalist in running. That is, he was a great athlete. So here I am clarifying to what I have just written. That yes, he was a school medalist. This means he was great in running. Now I'm explaining this in other words. He was a great athlete. And that's exactly the reason why I have used IE. That's the abbreviated form of that is, or in other words. So he was a school medalist in running. That is, he was a great athlete. Now, hope this is clear to you. Another thing that I want you to remember is that when you use example and that is, it has to be in lowercase when it comes in middle of sentences. So make sure you always write it in lowercase. Also, one more thing please do keep in mind is that in many American style guides, you would notice that E and G or I and E is followed by a period and a comma at the end. But since these terms have been used in English for several years now, these periods and comma can be omitted. So even if you just end up writing example or you end up writing that is without a period or a comma, it is correct. Don't worry, nobody is going to say, hey, you're wrong. So don't worry about it, you can omit that. Hope you've understood the difference in using example and that is. Just a recap for you, example is used to list examples after a sentence, whereas that is used to clarify a sentence that you have just written, or a definition or a metaphor can follow after the usage of that is. Now, please do take a test and let me know how much do you score, and I'll be back with a new lesson. Till then, you take care.